Hey, it's Rebecca Black. I'm taking over Rage this morning. I'm going to show you a small selection of some of my favorite music videos and songs of all time. I hope you enjoy, so stick around. Okay, I had to put Deee-Lite on here. This video for Groove in the Heart is amazing. I oftentimes will put it on after creating a song, and I like to do this a lot, and there's a couple music videos that I have on here that are perfect for kind of putting the thing that you've just created into context with the world. And the effects and the stylized pieces of this video are so absurd and insane. Lady Miss Keir is one of my all-time just favorite people to get inspiration from. So fabulous, amazing music that lives in the club culture of the 90s and 80s. And yeah, I think watching it, you see something that feels like such a time capsule, but at the same time is so clearly referenced now that nostalgia has become such a big piece of what artists are trying to recreate and capture now. I just think it's joy. It's absolute joy. This next video is Bjork's Army of Me video, which I think is one of the best music videos, really, of all time. It instigates this feeling when you're watching it that is like a feeling of uneasiness, but also familiarity. And those kinds of abstract feelings are some of my favorite things about music videos. I think this one in particular feels like the most accurate representation of what my dreams feel like. And I've talked to so many other people about this with this video. It has this like nonsensical, ever moving thing. The effects that they use in it are at the time, I think, so cutting edge, but have this also like lo-fi, almost stop motion quality. It's gory, it's scary, it's beautiful. Bjork is one of the most engaging people I've ever seen, ever, and such an inspiration. And it leaves you thinking, it leaves you feeling. I don't think I would ever watch it before I go to bed. It would probably inform my dreams. But it feels like that kind of dissonant feeling of watching things happen to you and trying to understand them and figure it out. But there's a story that your body is trying to tell you, but then at the same time, it's not coming out the way that maybe it should. That's how I interact with this video, and I love it so much. This next song is a video that I was lucky enough to be a part of very early in my career. Katy Perry's Last Friday Night is a behemoth of a video. I remember even just being on set, it felt like being on a major motion picture. The amount of incredible like time capsule cameos: Corey Feldman, Kenny G, Hanson, Debbie Gibson, the cast of Glee are a part of it. It was, I think there was a time in like 2010, 2011 where music videos were the most like just like gigantic, I guess is the word I'm looking for, in terms of what people were really allowing artists to do and create. They were absurd. And I just think this is a really fun concept video. The entire Teenage Dream album is one that people talk about often for its variety, and I really appreciate an artist in pop who's able to span wide within the genre within one project, but keep it concise and coherent. And Last Friday Night is just a historic video. Pop really was ahead of its time in the early 2000s. What You Waiting For is part of Love Angel Music Baby, Gwen Stefani's perfect pop album, and this video has such an Alice in Wonderland theme. This is also a song that talks about, I guess it's almost like a autobiographical journey of Gwen Stefani's career, and I don't often find that there's many songs from that period where a pop star is kind of discussing what it's like to be within the industry and what that does to your brain and the conversations you have, and it's just zany and wonderful. Madonna's Ray of Light I love seeing it across the internet. I feel like it's constantly being used. I've also seen people put this video against so many other songs because it's so fast-paced. It's so insane and campy, but also beautiful and wild, and what makes Madonna exactly who she is. And this is another really amazing song, a really amazing video that lives perfectly amongst any song that you put up against it. And I think that's what makes it so good. She's capturing like this really insane time capsule of the late 90s that is something that is constantly referenced today. And it's another song that I oftentimes will put up against something I've created to see if it matches the intensity that it deserves. It's ethereal, she's stunning, it's gorgeous, and it's bizarre, best of all. Hey, it's Rebecca Black, and you're hanging out with me on Rage. This next video is Face Shopping by SOPHIE. A really simple but complex video in the way that the images are warped and edited. I mean, SOPHIE is just effortlessly groundbreaking in everything that she does, and an artist that I really think was... we're so lucky as a generation to have gotten what we have, and I can't help but imagine, you know, what we could have had if SOPHIE got her flowers in the way she deserved while she was still with us. This music video is freaky and a perfect emblem to the song. All right, you all know this next one. There's nothing else I have to say. This is Friday. Enjoy. Thanks for hanging out this morning. I've got an even bigger playlist of all of my favorite music videos for you, so do not miss it. Some of the best ones are in there. I hope to see you there. I'll see you later. Bye. Hey, it's Rebecca Black. I'm taking over Rage tonight, and I have made a list of all of my favorite music videos from all across the decades and times and worlds. I'm really excited to show you. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I think you'll be surprised by some of the options that we have in here. So stick around, stay up with me, and let's get into it. All right, this next video is one of the most iconic videos of all time. One of the best songs of all time, one of my favorites ever, is Lady Marmalade by Pink, Christina Aguilera, Maya, and Lil' Kim. And you'll notice that there are a lot of videos on this list that I love because it represents a beautiful, powerful, very unapologetic form of womanhood. And I think I loved this video so much when it came out when I was younger, because you had 4 incredibly different female artists that upheld their own individual identities in this very like trite, I don't know if that's the right word, in this very, I guess, specific context of showgirl and Moulin Rouge obviously being kind of the frame for what this video lives within. I just think it's timeless. I think it has some of the best looks and wardrobe pieces that have ever been worn. And I've found it really fun to kind of connect myself with one of those women at different points in my life. And they're stellar verses, stellar artists. It's just fab. Absolutely fab. Fergalicious. It's a behemoth of a video. Fergie was known for, I think, being bodacious and wild and campy, and this song is like the perfect mix of what the Black Eyed Peas and her encapsulated of the time. It's chaos. It is like Girl Scout cookies on crack. It's my favorite song and video, probably in the entire world. And I don't think that there'll ever be a time that like maximalistic pop will ever die. Everything from the samples and the way the song is structured is delicious. No pun intended. So this next song is Beyonce and Shakira's Beautiful Liar video, which this song was my first ever ringtone on my Nokia brick in like 2007 or 2006, one of the two. And I must have been maybe like 9 or 10 when this video came out, but I was infatuated with it. And I was infatuated with, there's a iconic choreography scene where Beyonce and Shakira kind of become each other and do these really beautiful sensual moves, which, whether or not it was appropriate for me to be watching, I connected with those women in a way where, looking back, now that I know I'm a queer person and I date women, I'm like, maybe I actually was just really into them. But they channeled this energy that I think, even though I was a child at the first time, felt really powerful and felt just really engaging. I was just obsessed. I think I've watched this music video more than any other music video I've ever watched, and I've definitely tried to emulate the dance, but it's very hard to do, especially as a 9-year-old. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful, wonderful music video, full of two very powerful, beautiful women. Enjoy. One of my biggest inspirations in what I do, and many artists' inspirations now in pop and throughout the years, including Britney Spears has talked about this, is Janet Jackson. And Feedback hit me at, I think, a time in my life as a child where I was really learning freedom of expression and using music as a way to go into my own world. And it's just perfect. I feel like I say that about everything, but I love Janet so much, and I had to include her. She has, just like I think Madonna and Gaga and Britney, really encapsulated such definable eras, and this felt like a kind of moment left for her. And I love seeing a pop artist be not afraid to sidestep, which I think creates some of their best work. Damn, girl, what you doing up? It's Rebecca Black. I'm on Rage. I'm taking it over. I don't know why you're still with us, but now that you're here, you're not allowed to leave. So let's get into it. So, Bad Romance by Lady Gaga is, I think, potentially the best pop song of all time. It's dramatic, it's emotional, it's raw. The lyrics are insane and like almost carnal in her chants that she does. And this video, I think, represents a time in, there are many artists like Gaga who become some of the biggest global pop stars that we've ever known, who really in the early days of their career especially were not afraid to push boundaries and talk about concepts. This video is about trafficking, and it is somehow has a lot of heaviness to it, but at the same time presents it in a way that keeps the, I guess, I don't know how to talk about this in like a kosher way, but the heart of what it's doing and the seriousness of what it's trying to create, but also in a way that only pop can really make digestible for people, and put a real, I think, artistic approach on commentating on what's happening in the world in its own way. And it's just, there's nothing else to say, really. Watch it. All right, Katy Perry, someone I've been lucky enough to work with over the years. One of, I think, maybe her best written songs is a song early in her career. It's called You're So Gay. This music video features Barbie dolls and so many easily identifiable points of the time. I think there's a either Plenty of Fish or Christian Mingle kind of reference in there. It's controversial, which pop, I think, as I say, is at its best when it's doing. And I think Katy's beginnings as someone not afraid to kind of rupture things a little bit is what makes her such a legendary artist, really. And it's fun and unserious and just a really well-written song about many men that I think is now like what you would call like a a male manipulator, classic type. Hope you've been enjoying the playlist so far. Stick around because we have a lot more to come. The Ride video by Lana Del Rey is like a short film. And I love seeing an artist really allow a song to become a real movement and feel like it's capturing a story. This somehow feels like you're seeing the life of Lana Del Rey throughout the video. It's glamorous. It's really capturing an essence of a time and this aspirational feeling that I think has carried itself throughout the last, probably 10 or 15 years that it's been out. It's really indulgent, I think, and just something that so often a timepiece from especially like a period like 2012 to 2013 can feel really dated at this point. There is a chaos to Lana Del Rey that feels very timeless, and I think you see a really, what's the word I'm looking for, like blank, or a really like blunt look at what this artist is, who really is who she is in her real life. I think we now know that this Lana that we see in Ride is really who she is. Grimes, Genesis, the culture of my Tumblr days in high school, if anyone remembers that godforsaken website, was such a tool that I used to understand my own identity and kind of build universes and get access to pieces of identity that I don't think I had the ability to emulate in my real world. And Grimes was such a pinpoint of aspiration of, again, freedom and being able to create without the bounds of what maybe most people understood, at least at the time. And I just love a video that captures a feeling more than telling a story, more than anything else sometimes. It's just a wonderful, euphoric video. I also have to shout out that a creator that I work with often, a writer named Jesse St. John, is in this video. And this was so long ago, and he's gone on to have such an incredible career totally outside of it. But if you want to see someone who's a big part of how I create, you'll see him in there. Brooke Handy's in it. There's some really fun kind of niche cameos that I love. Sick to My Stomach was a music video that actually, like, unbeknownst to me, became such a catalyst to the rest of my music videos and the way I approach them. I worked with what has now become a really consistent collaborator of mine, Richie Jackson, on choreographing this video together. We had just met and really connected on the ways that we love to create and see the world. And as someone who grew up a dancer, I had really stayed away from dancing being a part of what I do because I was scared, honestly. And I was scared of that part of vulnerability, like accessing something that I had really kind of left in the dust many years ago. And this video is really just about 80s ethereality and dancing and a lot of choreo. I had one day to learn. Richie and I hit the ground running. My knees were bruised, like knee to ankle, essentially, hitting this choreography. But it was one of like my favorite physical challenges I've ever been able to do in what I do in a very, very small crew. And I'm proud of what we were able to do on a budget of every sense. This next music video is a song of mine called Trust, and this was the lead single off my last project, Salvation, and was a conceptual leap forward for me and something I'm the most proud of. I got to work with the director, Olivia DeCamps, who really helped bring my vision to life, and I wanted to create a conversation around taking your own image back in the court of public opinion, as you will, and really have fun in the ways that some of my favorite music videos from the early and mid 2000s would really find the glamour in some of the least glamorous places. And with that became Trust. It was right after My Boiler Room had come out, and it was really fun to incorporate, you know, people's perception with my own tragic story, I guess. This next music video is a song of mine called Salvation, which was the title song off of my last project. And it's one of my favorite things I've ever been able to create as a song. And it was important for me to kind of live within the cinematic universe of Trust, and up to viewer debate, add either a prologue or kind of finishing chapter to the Trust video. In the video, I essentially murder my old husband, take his ranch, and build a cult of beautiful women to run my craft. Bedazzled weaponry is a huge part of what I do. And with Salvation, when I was creating this project, as it became so much about kind of like connecting with this freedom of my more like untethered self, I felt it would be really interesting to create like a very explicitly queer and gay anthem in the context of such like an exclusive community against gay people, which is Catholicism and religion. Finding one's own salvation and like claiming that as the queer person you are, felt like an opportunity that I hadn't seen before. And I love the song. It makes me feel empowered. I kill myself in the video, sacrifice myself, if you will. So watch with your children's eyes closed, maybe. But it's really fun and campy. There's mud wrestling, you know, everything that you would want to see in a music video, I guess. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I hope to see you next time. I had so much fun doing this, and I really hope you found either some new favorites or reminded yourself of some of the best things that have been out there. Have a good night, y'all. Mwah.